But a 2,498, 2498. That's great.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Welcome to Mike's Daily Podcast. And yes, it's daily, pretty much. Except when
Mike's Daily Podcast.
We get interrupted, and that happens from time to time. There's nothing I can do. I do a podcast, and when I can, and in this one, like this one's new, and I'll sing the beginning. And we're here at Cafe Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valleyton, the last place on earth. And everybody, hey, let's be like a Tom Petty song and go, hey,
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Don't come around here no more. No, but thank you for coming around here to Mike's Daily Podcast. Well,
Mike's
what a week.
Daily
Things happened.
Podcast.
I'm going on a vacation soon.
Yeah!
I'm getting out of here. This podcast will disappear for at least 4 days. But you're okay with that, right? That's happened before. That's all right. We'll get through it. There is something interesting that I'm going to be doing, and that is I'm going to meet a horse named Doc Happy. This is while I'm on my trip to Shasta, to Mount Shasta. Doc Happy. This was booked through Airbnb. My lovely lady friend did it. And it says in the description what you'll do, because, you know, it's an experience hosted by Joy Ann. It says, working with Doc Happy, the healing horse, is a unique and magical healing experience. After a meet and greet to create community among us, I will introduce you to Doc Happy, a profound healer who is merged with a seventh dimensional unicorn! ! His wise mother, Honey, may also assist. Before approaching them, I will ask you to do a heart-centering guided meditation that will enable you to feel peaceful and kind. Right about here, my lovely lady friend, when she was reading me the description, was bursting into tears laughing.
And here's today's podcast picture.
I don't think I've ever seen her laugh that hard. I mean, we've watched some incredible comedians together. We've watched some really funny movies. This, nothing compared. I've even cracked a joke or two. Nothing compared to reading this description. And the picture, the podcast picture, is not of Doc Happy, the horse that's merged with a seventh dimensional unicorn, but of the late great Basil the Boxer at the late great Cull Canyon Lake. Cull Canyon Lake no longer there. But this picture was taken 7 years ago. It had just dried up, and I think this was the last time that anyone was able to go on the lake. A bunch of fish died one time when it dried up, and there was a guy out there digging holes, trying to get to the water, and trying to put the fish in the water that was there. And I remember walking the late great Basil the Boxer near him, and I talked about this on the podcast years ago when it happened. And the police came by, and they said on the intercom, "Sir, what are you doing? Are you trapped in the lake? What's happening? Are you trapped in quicksand?" Because, you know, when the lake dries up, you don't know, there might still be some wet pockets, and you could, like, get stuck and sink, possibly. And the guy shouted out, "I'm trying to save the fish! I'm the only one that's trying to save the fish! Leave me alone!" So, yes, because it's the Bay Area and things like that happen. And near Mount Shasta, things like a horse merged with a seventh dimensional unicorn, that happens as well. So I'm definitely going to take advantage of that and see that. Thanks to a special present from my lovely lady friend. Real quick, though there is a picture of the late great Basil the Boxer that I am posting along with this podcast, thus a podcast picture, and all 2,498 podcasts have a podcast picture, which you can also see on Instagram. I'm still going to have people see this picture and respond on Instagram and say, "Oh, Basil looks great. Tell him hi for me." And Basil's been gone for almost 2.5 years. And that's my litmus test. That's how I know when people really aren't, they're the social media friends. And I'm doing air quotes like crazy as I say that. They're social media friends, but they're not real friends. A real friend would listen to my podcast once in a while. And every single podcast, I have honored the late great Basil the Boxer in some way. And if they have not listened to a podcast, and there are people, folks, that are supposed friends of mine that actually have my real life cell phone number, which is not 336mm Daily, by the way, but it is. If you want to contact me, you can call me at 336mm Daily. That contacts us here at Cafe Anyway. It rings the phone here, and you can leave a message. But people that I know that I thought were friends, and they're like, oh, tell Basil hi for me. Or I had one who, I haven't talked to her in a long time. I don't know what's up with her, but she said she talked to some friends of mine. And the friends of mine, I guess she asked them, hey, how's Mike and how's Basil the Boxer doing? And they were like, oh, you didn't know? Basil's been gone for 2.5 years. And she said, what? Oh, well, we're friends on social media. No, you're not friends with me. You ain't friends with me if you're friends with me on social media. If you want to be friends with me, you should at least listen to my podcast. And then don't email me by accident because you're actually trying to blind CC yourself or blind CC me. Wait, don't blind CC me when you're trying to email somebody else while talking about me. For more clarification on that, go to the last podcast, because that's what somebody actually did. They were complaining about me to someone else, not thinking that I was seeing the email, but because they accidentally blind CC'd me, I saw the email. And within this email, it said that I was, as we go outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valleyton, the last place on earth, that I am not a team player. You have never met a more team player than me. Oh, sure, I'm an only child, and sure, I can do a lot of stuff on my own. But I have helped out, and what he was complaining about was something that I don't even do. And I explained that in the last podcast as well. I am not HR, and he wanted me to do an HR thing. We have HR to take care of your HR things. Oh, but I don't want to talk to them because I'm afraid of a lady that works in HR. That's no excuse, buddy. Get over it. You're a grown man. Get over it. Doc Happy would be a great help to this guy. And the late, great Basil the Boxer would say to you, probably, as he barked and ran around and chased birds on this dry riverbed or lake bed, he would say to you, realize that your social media friends aren't really your friends. Recently, I went through and made sure that in most of my social media accounts, that the number of friends that I have, the number of people that I'm following is less than the number of people that are following me. I did that in a vanity sort of way, because it seems like the average person, they're following a bunch of people, not many people are following them, unless they're like a superstar or a celebrity, or think they're a celebrity. So because I was thinking I was a celebrity, I went and deleted. So that meant I only have 4 friends left, because there's four people following me, and I trimmed everybody down, so now I'm just following 3 people. I know it's supposed to work that you're following people and then they follow you back, and it kind of averages out maybe. And then if you're super popular, then the number of people following you shoots through the roof. But that's not good. I guess that's not going to happen with Mike Matthews. That's fine. That's fine, y'all. That's fine. I can just deal with that outside a cafe anyway, where we've hung up some Halloween decorations already. Look, there's some pumpkins and some skeletons that are doing things like surfing and dancing and cleaning things and getting ready for trips and getting ready to see horses that are merged with 7th dimensional unicorns. May I just read the rest of this? Then, so after we've gone into a heart-centering guided meditation that enables us to feel peaceful and kind, Lord knows I need that. This description says, then I will teach you a meditation to quiet your mind, so you will be more open to Doc Happy's work with you. Doing so will establish trust between you. Next, I will ask you to approach them, Doc Happy and his mom, in a respectful way, connecting heart to heart. You can touch Doc Happy lovingly, sniff noses, and massage him with your bare hands. In other words, yeah, you can pet my horse. Then you will sit in a chair in the corral while Doc Happy works with you energetically. I don't even know what that means. And people are paying $55 to find out what that means. He and Honey may touch you in places on your body where they perceive you need assistance. Or they might just stand by you, connecting at a deep, quiet level. When the horses are finished, they will usually walk away. Okay. And then you can share with this person that wrote this as much as you like about your experience for further reflection and understanding. Afterwards, you're welcome to sit for a bit in the yard by the creek to integrate the experience. Fascinating. So we'll see what happens. It's a 1 hour experience. And I guess I've been signed up. Oh, and you can drink delicious well water during your visit. I'm looking forward to that. Thank you, lovely lady friend, for doing this for me. Do you know what? I will tell you this. I didn't have to pay $50 or $55 or whatever it cost. Probably with taxes, 60 or something, 70. But when I lost Basil in 2020, I was going through a really tough time because the dog meant a lot to me. He was my Doc Happy. He helped me feel peace through some turbulent times. And we just had some great walks and great times, and he introduced me to some great people. I met my lovely lady friend through him, through Basil the Boxer. So, my point is that there is some times where animals can really help you in a big way, petting them. I mean, basically, whenever you pet your dog or your cat, it helps you de-stress so much. But I remember after I lost the late great Basil the Boxer, and I was without a pet for a long time until some feral cats adopted me, but that was later. But I'm in this time period about 3 months after Basil had passed. It was around this time of year, actually. In fact, I should post a picture from that experience or from that time in 2020, 2 years ago. And we went to a place in Pescadero. There are these farms there that you can walk around. They got great goat cheese you can buy. And there's a donkey out front. And he comes over to me. And I start petting his head, and he just stood there and let me pet him for about 10 minutes. It was the most incredible experience. I felt so much weight lift off me. I felt such a kindness between me and this animal. And then I looked at my hand, and it was solid black. There was some kind of, I found out later from one of the guys working there, that they treat the top of the donkeys with this, and the animals, they spray them a little bit so they don't have so many bugs on them. But that's what this weird greasy substance was on my hand. And then we went into town there and had their amazing sandwiches that they got that little deli in that supermarket. Oh, it was such a wonderful, rewarding experience. And then we went to a place that I never took the late great Basil the Boxer. We actually named it after him. There's a little cove there, just where the beach is near Pescadero, and we I don't know what the name of the cove is, probably Pescadero Cove or something. We called it Basil's Cove, And I had Basil's ashes with me. And my lovely lady friend and I sat there and remembered him. It was a wonderful moment. It was a great day, full of great animals. And then we got 2 pumpkins. And one of the pumpkins I have had ever since. I finally had to throw it out just about a week ago. But it lasted quite a while. Almost made it to another Halloween. The point is, I'm going to see a horse. I'm going to see I'm going to see a woman about a horse, I guess, an interdimensional horse. Outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcaster Valleyton, the last place on earth. Look who's here.
Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, gift trust supervisor. Oh my gosh, that's such a beautiful story, Mike Matthews.
Yeah, they're great. Those donkeys and interdimensional horses and everything.
Mike Matthews, I have an interdimensional snow globe that has a horse in it. See?
Oh, that's beautiful. Look, you shake it up, there's the little fake snow. And the horse there. That's great. How much is that?
That's, for you, I'll give it to you for a deal. It's gonna cost you a lot of money. Just give me your credit card.
No, that's all right. That's okay. She left. Look who else is here. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. I was in the last podcast. And it's John Deere, the engineer. Yes, I heard that. He was helping lovely lady friend clean up a little bit the other day. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, and we were talking about how both my neighbors were chopping down trees. I've got this one neighbor. He chopped down these 2 huge old trees, giant trunks. It's just one guy doing it, and that's ridiculous. Trees that big, you need help. You need a crew. You can't do it all by yourself, and this guy is doing it and all day long. So it's taking, 10 times as long for this one guy to do it, because he's doing it on the cheap, versus having a crew doing it. They can do it all in one day. So every day I hear all day. And my poor lovely lady friend, at least I can leave and go to work. She's doing stuff at my house. She works from my house, basically doing a lot of video conferencing. She's a therapist, does virtual. Well, it's not virtual because you're actually talking to someone and you're going through real therapy, but they're not there in front of you. What do they call that? Virtual sessions or something. Which it's very helpful. That's the way psychology is going. People don't need to drive all the way across town, get stuck in traffic or whatever. They can just meet with their psychologist or doctor or therapist or whoever just right there through the magic of their computer. And that technology was always there. But it was the pandemic that pushed us into it. I heard a rather conservative fella discussing how California has always been ridiculous because of these mask laws, and he doesn't like to wear a mask, and blah, blah, blah. I don't like masks. Masks don't work, blah, blah, blah. Well, the science behind it, yes. The mask is not like you're wearing a airtight astronaut helmet to fight off and keep you from everything that might hurt you in the world of diseases. However, it is something, and I'll tell you, it's just me and one other guy at my job that has not had COVID yet. Everybody else slips and doesn't wear masks, or they stopped wearing masks way back. They got it. They get it. They still get it. I haven't had it yet, so I don't know. That's something. I noticed something. Now, I just might be lucky, but I noticed I haven't gotten... I used to be pre-wearing masks, and I'm not saying you should wear it outside. Outside, you're pretty safe, like we are right now. The wind is blowing through our hair. Well, I don't have hair, but it's blowing and it's carrying away. I'm not sure exactly. I'm not a scientist. I am not a doctor. I am not a professor of epidemiology or viruses or any of that, disease control. But it would seem you would be a lot less threatened when you're outside. And I've heard this over and over again in all kinds of media outlets. So, but when I'm inside and there's a bunch of people around, I put the mask on just to be safe, unless I'm eating. Yes, that is a contradiction. And as Sebastian Gorka said, the conservative talk show host, and he's done some stuff in Washington, he would say, oh, well, you magically have some kind of force field around you once you start eating? No. But he knows less than I do. He is less qualified than I am. We're about equally qualified, perhaps. But there you go. At any rate, it just drives me crazy. Look how crazy I am. That's how I've been driven to craziness. Because people just... I understand. I'm not going to... I think his whole point was... And this is the point he should have made instead of going into all of his scientific... Which I guess I just did. But his whole argument was that don't tell me what to do. I'm a free citizen. I'm an American. I am allowed to do whatever I want. Whatever vaccines I want to put into my body. Whatever masks I don't or do want to put on my face. That's up to me to make those decisions. Don't force me. And I get that. But this whole demonizing Mr. Fauci and this whole demonizing anybody that wears a mask and the virtue signaling, which I hate that phrase, or the dog whistling or whatever, the signaling, whistling, whatever. Just do what you want to do. I get it. But don't suddenly throw out like I'm a scientist and I know this stuff, which is what I just did. But I will tell you, and I'm telling you this is the honest truth, I'm not lying, that I have not had as many colds or flus or whatever since I've worn the masks over and over again around people. And that just may be because I'm lucky, or it might be because I'm not getting, and I'm trying to carry that knowledge that they were telling us over and over again to wash your hands. Is anyone going to remember to do that? Has anyone remembered? I mean, when the masks come off, does that mean people aren't washing their hands anymore and singing happy birthday and washing their hands for, 20 seconds? Are we, observing the amount of it educated us to the general rules of how things transmit to each other, bad things. All I'm saying is we should carry that. We went through it all together. We should carry some of that knowledge with us, some of the helpful side of us, and not demonize it and say none of it was true. And I'm seeing the proof of it, is all I'm saying. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Put down the mic. So...
That's enough. Put down the mic.
Don't put down mic. That's not nice. The point is that it's time now for a segment called Let's Go Back with Matthews. Back to a different time, years ago, when Mike was not so jaded and more innocent. And let's go back to 2000, I don't know. Let's go back about 20 years. What do you think? Okay. We listened to something last time that featured some interesting characters. Perhaps we will do that again here. Let's see what we get. All right, here we go. This is now almost 20 years ago, so around mid-2003. And here we go. This is interesting. This is somebody we just talked to. So this is how long I've known this particular person.
At Michael's, it is your country concert connection. And we are going into the gift shop to see Chely Shoehart at the KA Santa Fe Cafe.
Hello, Michael. I like it when guys have their shirts untucked because it makes them look like bad boys. And I think bad boys are so hot.
That's why you like me, right?
Oh my God, I'm laughing on the inside, Matt Michaels.
No, I think you're laughing on the outside. Who's this? Jess?
Yes.
Jess, what is your favorite summertime drink that cools you off oh so nicely?
Summertime drink.
say Sobe.
I can't hear a word you're saying.
Sobe.
What?
Sobe.
What's that?
You don't know what Sobe is?
No.
It's like a drink, like they have different flavors and stuff.
Did you say Sobe?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Toby.
No, Sobe.
I thought it was some weird drink named after Toby Keith.
No, Sobe.
This is when you mix milk and chocolate syrup and Coca-Cola together, you call it a Toby! That's not it?
Nope. Nope.
Wow. Little Chely Shoehart there, and someone telling me about Sobe. I still have not had a Sobe. I should try one of those. Okay, so we have talked a little bit about the Queen. And one thing, and I said I would stop talking about the Queen, but I'm not talking about the Queen, I'm talking about somebody who's talking about the Queen. And here is someone, his name is Hassan.
All right, let's see what fucking
Hassan Abi. And I might have to bleep some of what he says here because he is a bit on the, like, I'm going to be honest. And with my honestness, that means I'm going to say bad words because I'm honest and I'm reckless and I'm edgy. And people love me because I'm edgy and I'm very left-wing.
Right? Good.
And this is why I don't think I'm left-wing, because I don't really agree with this here. The fact that he's saying that the Queen's funeral was the weirdest funeral of all time. That's what it says in all caps as the description of his latest YouTube video. And I will play just a tiny snippet of what he had.
Let's get the Queen Elizabeth, yeah? Is a funeral happened, right? And this is a good opportunity to see the Queen's funeral in less than 5 minutes without standing in a queue, mate. Lizzie, she's been paraded, and now she's in the ground, yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's enough of that. He's got a lot of viewers. He's got over 1 million subscribers. This particular video has been seen by, let's see, it's 877 comments. Oh, over almost 200,000 views. And he uses a lot of F-bombs, as you heard. He, for some reason, I thought he left them in, but apparently he censored them for me. Thank you. But he does a lot of, he goes back and edits it and does these quick little jump edits and zooms in, zooms out real fast and then throws in a bunch of video. And it's basically made for anybody under 20 who has the attention span of a gnat. Who just does, I don't know if it's a Generation Z or millennial thing where they have no attention span. So it's got to be zip, zap, bop, 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 all the video cuts and everything. And then, of course, he's got to use the abrasive language. I get that the whole mystique of the monarchy is not something he's into. And who knows? He's a young guy. Maybe by the time I'm an old man, instead of just an old man, but if I had children at one point, maybe a great grandfather, I don't think the monarchy will be around anymore. And to a lot of people, it represents a lot of bad things. And I get that, but still, geez, the stupidity. There's a lot of stupidity in that young man. Anyway, anyway. Let's go to the next segment and the final segment here on the podcast, which is called the Mike Matthews New Tunes Feud. And we go to a new artist, and because I am old and because the script, the font is of the tiniest measure, I'm going to read this. It says, Chely gets into the spirit of the spooky season in the new Only Lovers Left Alive music video. So this is Chely, and let's listen to a bit of it. That's Chely. I can only play a snippet of it because I don't want to get dinged. And then somebody has put out a new song who had a minor hit a couple years back, maybe about 10 years or so, almost. His name is Ben Rector. I can't think of the song. It was a rather upbeat, happy type tune. He's that type of artist. And here is a song he has called
Hey Dad.
Wonderful World.
Rated all the way to have you here.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike
brand
now.
new. That was the name of his song.
mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com.
Brand
See you
new.
tomorrow. Bye.
It was like kind of a big, happy, upbeat tune. Okay. Right. Let's go back to this. It's called Wonderful World. Not the Louis Armstrong song.
Time chasing a dream, but none of it was true until you were here with me. It's a wonderful world filled with fabulous things. I trade them all away to have you here with me.
There you go, Ben Rector. And this video has some cute puppets in it. So there you go. Talene Kelly or Ben Rector, which one do you like better? You can call me at 336MM Daily. 3 plus 3 equals 6. MM is in Mike Matthews Daily, as in what this podcast will try to be for the next couple of days. I get interrupted, as you know, sometimes. So they're fighting away. And yes, no more violence. Let's try and understand each other. Let's not deny progress in science and technology, because they've gotten us pretty far. My lovely lady friend uses this newfangled type of technologically advanced cup that keeps her drink. She makes her own chai iced tea because she's my lovely lady friend. She made a cup of it early in the morning, and then she served me a little bit of it in the afternoon, and it was still hot. I could not believe it. So that's technology, and if you deny science and technology, then you ain't allowed to have one of those cups. And for more on how to reach me and to email me about what you think about any of this, it is now a frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.